Imagine stockpiling for $200 worth of sneakers. Well, if President Donald Trump's tariffs of 2025 are put into practice, we can see more examples like this. Because while there are some benefits to tariffs, President Trump's way of going about it make a negative impact for customers, corporations, and to foreign nations. First, we should look at the problem that results from these things. Uh, the main issue is that they affect both the customer and the corporation. We already know that customers in the footwear industry feel this way. According to a news station MSN, they say that Americans are stockpiling nearly $220 worth of sneakers before they can cost more, based on Blasie's article. After a 90-day grace period, people can expect a $40 increase based on these shoes sold or based on retailer demands. To make matters even worse, if demands still exceed supply, retailers can jack up their prices even more, or if they just, at best, don't have enough in stock for everybody. The tech industry is also facing serious cost pressures and uncertainty. Um, Writers of the Wall Street Journal highlight Apple's inability in making iPhones in the United States, raising causes a lack of infrastructure to fix product like Stern. Parts of the go into creating an iPhone, for example, are outsourced to at least 40 different countries. Mass production in the United States just is not feasible for them. Where is this unrest coming from? Well, it goes beyond tariffs or not, believe it or not. It's also focusing on how and why they're being applied. And that leads us into the cause. They appear to be short term strategies based on economic misunderstandings of the president. The initial idea behind these tariffs was to encourage customers to buy American products, according to Clark, and for the United States to build some leadership in manufacturing, according to Aka Hilal. But like BBC News says, the increase in consumer prices and rarely lead to long-term gains. Um, and that was the words of Clark in BBC News, by the way. These measures can provoke retaliation from trade partners, worsening the impact as a result. China already placed a 125% tariff on U.S. imports. The country of China views the United States as a joke and doesn't take their tariffs seriously, according to Clark. Hilal Aka notes that while foreign countries impose non-tariff barriers on the United States technology, they respond with tariffs and don't solve it. Responding with tariffs based on these patterns don't actually appear to solve any issues. They just escalate it and makes the situation worse. So, transitioning off of that, it appears that we've identified the harm and causes, but now let's look at what we can do to protect American consumer companies. For possible solutions, we believe that the United States must shift towards smarter trade policies and domestic innovation support groups. Yeah, smarter trade companies and supporting the domestic innovation support groups are important. And they're important because we should be engaging in trade negotiations and addressing any unfair foreign practices. An example of this is confronting non-tariff barriers through diplomacy and not through escalation. We shouldn't focus on trade balancing or trade deficits like Trump and his administration has been focusing, or like what was highlighted in Hilal Aka's article, but instead, not instead, we shouldn't be focusing on it because raising foreign prices, based on the research we've gathered so far, has at best been proven to be worthless. In fact, an article from USC Dorn's Life even says that there's no reason for a balance. And whether or not a country imports or exports is based on the priorities of a country, based on their climate, what exactly they need, according to Watchdog. So whether they do or don't is not really of a concern. So this is important because understanding what to do and also what to avoid can help us prevent further economic harm and offer more sustainable growth for us in the United States. So, in conclusion, while tariffs might be good for balancing trade and for valuing the in-house companies here in America, President Donald Trump's approach to the idea has so far caused turmoil on a global scale, even with the 90-day grace period. We've examined how these tariffs have affected customers, foreign nations, and major corporations. We've also examined how the flawed motivations behind them can cause some problems. And we've examined how to outline some smarter alternatives. Examples of smarter alternatives were mentioned above and here. Instead of stockpiling on items like sneakers, limiting access to goods to foreign countries, or the ability to access necessary goods from foreign countries to produce products, or provoking China to use tariffs on our products in retaliation and getting into a war over them with that. What we as a country should instead be doing is investing in policies that can create stability and not security for the near future. Thank you.